Let us all give a rounding round of applause, a resounding welcome to none other than the President on May 12th of this country, the man we now know as Brigadier General David Granger. Let us welcome this dynamic individual.
Yeah, well, it's me again. I'm gonna have the microphone, check the track. Yo! Yeah, well, it's all about love and peace and harmony. Respect every aspect. Check it. What happened to the days when we used to come together and used to live as one? When love used to flow through every girl, woman, and every boy and man. Now there's so much war and crime and destruction through this land. But all the youths them come to turn that town on. Now it goes again. Everybody stop the fuss and the fighting, and this is the time for united. All of me brethren and sisters, only for love we share and pray we sing. Love and unity, peace and harmony. Love and love and unity, peace and harmony. Love and right, I know me come tell you something. The war and crime is no fun thing. Put down the knife and the gun thing. Leave that for hunting purposes. We want them free end. Right, I know we come set the trend. Cause we want a better future for we family and friend them. So we go sudden. We not care where you come from and what's your name. One blood alone I run through we vein. Unity you know so that is the game. Everybody come let's join the love trade. Wave all the and them from left to right. Cause they don't know so how to unite. Everybody jump in a line. Come on and sing the punchline in time. Love and unity, peace and harmony. Love and unity, love and unity.
Love and unity, that's the message. Love and unity. Corentyne, tonight Guyana is with you. Region 10, are you here? Region 5, are you here? Region 4, are you here? All Guyanas behind Corentyne, Region 6. We are together, love and unity. This is a great region, and it's good to be back here where I grew up with Moses in Whim. And he talked about Tare Shop. This is great. This is a great region. If this region was a country, it would be bigger than Taiwan. If this region was a country, it would be bigger than Belgium. We need you, Corentyne. Guyana needs you. We need your sugar. And we're going to save sugar. We need your rice. We need your fish. Who don't need fish? You see, Moses, this was a fishing village. Your bauxite comes through the Barbies River. Your timber comes through Barbies River. And some trade comes across the Corentyne River. And you're all drilling for oil offshore. The Corentyne is the cutting edge of Guyana's economy. Tonight, APNU and AFC have come to talk about the future, not about the past. The future of the Corentyne is the future of Guyana. When Corentyne prospers, Guyana progresses. Tonight, I want you to know, Corentyne, that APNU and AFC have a mission to protect you, to promote development, and to preserve your integrity. But what has been happening for the past 23 years is that the PPP has taken you for granted. The PPP regarded Corentyne as a vote farm. All you're bound to vote for them. Not true anymore. In 1997, the PPP got 52,000 votes from Corentyne. In 2001, the PPP got 47,000 votes from Corentyne. You hear what happened there? In 2006, the PPP got 42,000 votes from Corentyne. In 2011, they got 32,000 votes from Corentyne. They're on a slippery slope. And in 2015, APNU and AFC will bury the PPP in the Corentyne. You know, my brothers and sisters, we need change in truth. Because I walk around Rose Hall, I walk around Port Morat, I walk around Riverton. I meet young university graduates from Tain. They don't have work. I go in the diaspora. I go to Queens. I walk on Liberty Avenue. People want to come back home, but they're frightened of crime. I meet residents of Berbice, and they ask me for safety. I go to the fishery complex, ask Rishi Thakur, and they want safety. The PPP has failed Corentyne. And the Corentyne tonight has turned their back on the PPP. PPP would never believe something like this could happen in Whim village. But Corentyne has always been a paragon of national unity. Some of you may not know, it's not just Indian and African. Eric Williams, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, married a Chinese woman from New Amsterdam named Mook Sang. On the east of Corentyne, at Siparuta and Oriala, there's an indigenous village. So it's not just Indian and African. They're Chinese, they're Portuguese. Up to now, still living in Corentyne. Corentyne has always been multi-ethnic, but some people came along and believed they could divide up Corentyne. But tonight, you are showing them that Corentyne is united again. But, my brothers and sisters, we have work to do. The PPP lost Corentyne because they lost the love for the people. They love lucre, they love greed. They wanted to be rich. They replaced truth with lies. What they did also is replace your parliamentary representative with the outgoing Prime Minister. Can you imagine that? They're sending the Prime Minister home and they send him to Corentyne. It's not I-pass. How we can do that? If they take away Sam Hines' job, why they send him here? The I-pass Corentyne. I don't have anything against Mr. Hines. But if he's retiring, retire him. Don't send him to Corentyne. Olin don't want him. He's running out of regions. My brothers and sisters, APNU and AFC have work to do in Guyana and in this region. And the biggest problem facing Corentyne, East Berbice Corentyne Region 6, in my view, in the view of the diaspora, is safety, human safety. People don't want to come back home because they feel Region 6 is unsafe. Listen to what the chairman, the president of the Upper Corentyne Chamber of Commerce had to say. His name is Krishna Jaichan. Is he here? Krishna, are you here? I want to quote him. I do like Brother Moses said. I want to quote people so they don't get me wrong. Krishnan Jaichan said, people are panicking in the face of the crime upsurge. Those were his words. I quote him. But I tell you, Corentyne, don't panic. APNU and AFC come along. Don't panic. We have clean hands. And we're going to clean up this mess. Read my lips. I promise you, the residents of East Berbice Corentyne Region number 6, to make Corentyne safe. Safe for fisher folk. Safe for businessmen. safe for women and children, safe for investors. I get fed up with the murders. Sometimes I myself feel like panicking. Remember Roshni Pratap Singh, the little girl from number 19? You all don't know about her? Raped and murdered. What about Ashana Madramutu from Maida? Raped and murdered. What about Leela Benny from Port Morant? Raped and murdered. These people are giving Corentyne a bad name because the police force is not capable of doing its job, because the minister in charge of the police force is not capable of doing his job. And that is why in July 2012, 3 years ago, APNU and AFC came together to pass a vote of no confidence in Clement Rohi. He's not doing his job, and he will never be able to do his job. He's been in government for 23 years. He's been the Minister of Home Affairs for 9 years. He does not come up here. The other man came up here, the other Minister of Home Affairs. I never see a man run so fast. His name is Ronald Gadraj. How do you think he can run, huh? Then Gail Teixeira came up here. But Roy, look at Ronald, he look at Gail, say, I ain't coming. So Roy don't come. But these murders can't go on. People are afraid. Look at what happened to Abdul Majid, old man. Look at what happened to Lala Jagardio, old man. This region is becoming unsafe because Clement Rohi is not doing his job and the PPP is not removing him. We will move him. Munarantel Sankacham. And many of the victims of murder are old women and young girls. That is the problem. We're going to make Corentyne safe. Safe for all of the residents, safe for visitors, safe for investors. Who is going to protect you? I'm going to protect you because I'm going to set up a police force that is going to care about you, that's going to look after your interests, that's going to answer your emergency calls in a minute or two, not an hour or two. I talk about fish. I know you all like fish. 15,000 fishermen in this country make their living by going out to sea. 15,000 fishermen. Corentyne depends on fishing, not only rice and sugar, fish. There are over 12,000 fishing boats. But what is happening to our fishermen? Our fishermen, almost by the week, are victims of piracy. Rishi Thakur and I went to see the fishermen. They showed us their scars. Rohi doesn't go to the fishermen. Ramachar doesn't go to the fishermen. Why is piracy persisting throughout the Jagio era, this era of brilliance, this great champion of the earth? Fishermen are going to sea and disappearing. Fishermen are going to sea and their bodies are floating up on the foreshore. Families are left without fathers. Children are left abandoned because their parents are being killed off. And why is the PPP not doing anything about piracy? The PPP does not care about the Corentyne. Put in a government which cares about currency, and we are going to eradicate piracy. An APNU AFC government. And don't let me talk about traffic accidents. Don't let me talk about traffic accidents. You see, Mr. Rohi pays a lot of attention to birth certificates. He pays a lot of attention to voters' lists. He doesn't pay attention to murder. He doesn't pay attention to piracy. He doesn't pay attention to traffic accidents. I pay attention to traffic accidents because I have to come up here to Philippi to look into the eyes of the mother of those two Bagat girls who were killed at Philippi village. Look what happened there on the same 19 road. 12 people were killed a few years ago in a minibus smash-up. When you walk down some of these roads, no lights, no pavements, no road markings. cow sleeping on the road. And Rohi doesn't care. He doesn't come to these parts. So what are we going to do? We're going to set up a security system in the East Berbice Corentyne which protects your sons and daughters on these roads, protects them from speeding, protects them from drunken drivers. That is what we're going to do. We're going to make Corentyne safe again. Rohi is not going to do it. The PPP is not going to do it. We are going to do it, AP and UAFC. Every year in this country, yes, every year in this country we hear about armed robberies. And Rohi does nothing to strengthen the police to prevent arms from coming in the country. We know where the weapons come from. They come from Brazil. We have a 1,300-kilometer border with Brazil. And the weapons come all the way from Brazil to Corentyne to do mischief. Every day in this country, there are 3 armed robberies. Every 8 hours, there's an armed robbery in Guyana. You think Rohi care? You think Ramatar care? You think Jagyo care? Well, my brothers and sisters, we have to deal with this threat of armed robbery because it's scaring away investors. If you look at the census data, it's falling faster than the PPP votes. This region had 152,000 residents in 1980 under the PNC. Now it has 125,000. Why? Because people are leaving East Berbice Corentyne in droves because this region is unsafe. It's unsafe for fishermen. It's unsafe for children walking down the street. It's unsafe for women in their homes. It's unsafe for families. We have to clean up this mess. And as my sister Supriya said, under the PPP, under the champion of the earth, please quote me correctly, champion of the earth, Guyana has become the suicide capital of the Western Hemisphere. Jagdeo could put that on his curriculum vitae. He made that possible. And on the Bar Jagdeo, this beautiful region has become the suicide capital of the suicide capital. Never before has there been such a high rate of suicide in this region. I told Rohi, happy people don't kill themselves. Happy people don't kill themselves. And the PPP is making East Berbice Corentyne a very unhappy place. Young people have no hope in the future. They try to migrate, and when they can't migrate, they turn upon themselves. We are going to solve this problem. It's a problem of our youth, it's a problem of our homes, it's a problem of our families. But most of all, it's a problem of governance. It is the type of governance the PPP has inflicted on this country for the last 23 years, and we will have to deal with that problem. Rain is a blessing, brothers and sisters. We are going to stem the tide of juvenile suicide. And most of all, as I said a little while ago, we will stem the tide of migration. Guyanese, I've said over and over again that Guyana is one nation divided in two. Half of Guyana lives in North America and half lives in South America. The people living in North America want to come home. They are Guyanese to the marrow. They don't want to migrate. They don't like the winter. Some of them have made some money, but they want to come back to invest. But we will only stem the tide of migration when we make Guyana a favorable and friendly destination for them. Last week I gave this commitment to businessmen in Queens and New Jersey. I said, we are going to set up a department for the diaspora so that people, our families, our friends, our relatives in the diaspora will be able to come back here and invest. All they ask for is a level playing field. That's all we want, Mr. Granger, a level playing field. We don't want to come and push money under the table to bribe some minister. We don't want to beg. We don't want to be pushed to the periphery of Guyanese society. We want a level playing field. And we are going to bring the diaspora back because the diaspora wants a change. They came to us at Queens, they came to us in New York, they came to us in New Jersey, and they want to see a change. You want a change, they want a change. Guyanese all over want to change. So, my brothers and sisters, we're all turning away from the PPP at home and abroad. When I walk down Liberty Avenue, when I walk down Queens, this is what they're saying. We love Guyana. We want to come back home. We want to invest. We want to bring our expertise. APNU and AFC wants to create a smarter Corentyne region, East Berbice Corentyne. APNU AFC wants to create a stronger Corentyne. APNU wants to create a richer region in the East Berbice Corentyne. This is possible. Nothing that Moses has said, nothing that I have said, nothing that Charandas has said, nothing that Kamraj has said, nothing that Supriya said is impossible. We are going to make Corentyne the cutting edge of Guyanese economy once again. As I started by saying, we want your sugar and your rice and your fish and your bauxite and your timber. We want your expertise. We want your commerce. We want entrepreneurship. But to get that, we have to get a new government. We will support opportunities for investment. We are going to support your young people coming out of school who want to start up enterprise. We are going to support employment for young people. We're going to support agro-processing. Every single thing you produce in this region, every pineapple, every guava, every plantain. You don't have to sell plantain chips by the bridge. You can sell these if you package it and process it correctly. You can sell it in Barbados. You can sell it in Trinidad, Antigua. I've seen people coming back from Antigua to buy Guyanese fried rice. So anything you produce here in the Corentyne could be sold. What you want, East Berbice Corentyne, what you want, Region 6, is the type of government which cares about you and which provides the resources for young people to be employed. Not to send them away, not to push them into Suriname, not to push them into Puerto Ordaz in Venezuela, not to push them to suicide. So, my brothers and sisters, tonight, David and Moses have come back to Whim. I am honored to have Moses Nagamutu at my side. He has struggled all of his life to bring better government. He left the party of bad government and he's come over and he's now a member of the coalition which will bring good governance to Guyana. Moses, I welcome you. We have now made history. APNU was established nearly 4 years ago, bringing 5 parties together. The Guyana Action Party, the Justice for All Party, the National Front Alliance, the People's National Congress, and the Working People's Alliance. We never worked before together, but now that we are together, we are better together, we are stronger together. And on 6th of December 2014, I was proud, I was pleased, I was happy to hear Kamraj Ramjatan announce to the convention, the conference of the Alliance for Change, that the Alliance for Change is ready to enter into a pre-election coalition. Welcome aboard. Now we are 6. For the first time in Guyanese history, we have 6 parties which have demonstrated their ability to win a majority at the national and general elections. Now that we're together, we are bound to win with your support. But Corentyne, don't be complacent. In 2011, APNU and AFC only got 41%. and people in this region gave the PPP 59%. It mustn't happen again. People of Corentyne, you have some serious issues. I sincerely believe that those issues have been ignored by the PPP for the last 2 decades or more. I sincerely believe that you want a good life, that you feel you're entitled to the good life. That is why at this point in time, maybe never before, these 6 parties have come together to give you in Region 6 and all the other 9 regions a promise, a prospect of a good life. We know you, we know your needs, and we will deliver you that quality of good governance. For me too, it is a homecoming. I dream about our Klein. When I got married, yes, 45 years ago to this lady here. 1970, yes, 45 years ago. The first place we had a holiday is in the Corentyne. The first place we had a holiday is in the Corentyne. My daughter is here, and there's a little picture of her in 63 Beach. Before I carried them anywhere else, I said, you have to come here, because Corentyne is where it's at. Tonight, I've come back to Corentyne with a message. I've come back to Corentyne with a vision. I've come back to Corentyne with a sense of mission. To lead Guyana out of this mess that the PPP has dragged us into over the last 23 years. I'm going to clean up all this mess with the support of Moses Nagabutu, with the support of AFC and APNU, with the support of the good people who come here to see this rally tonight, with the support of the Guyanese population, with the support of the majority. Thank you very much for coming here tonight. Thank you very much for sending a message, not to the PPP, but to the world, that Guyana is ready for change. May God bless you, Corentyne. May God bless you, Whim. May God bless you, Guyana. And may God bless our children. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and good night.